Hi friends, welcome to Rita's Paper Motif. Today I wanted to share with you a new product that I am enamored with. So before I get started though, I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Rita. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I love to create card designs, scrapbook page layouts, and 3D projects. I like to share them with you and show you how I made them in hopes that it will inspire you to create and then to share with those in your life that matter. So let's get going. I do want to also share with you before I begin here, and that is most everything that you see on a video can, the particulars can be found by going to ritaspapermotif.com. So if you're so inclined to check up on things, then please take a visit to Rita's Paper Motif. Also, if there's any product that you feel you would like to add to your craft space, then you can definitely see the current catalog at Rita's Paper Motif. And if you shop at my online store, I am honored. So let's go ahead and get going. And that is that we have so many new items in our product line. You can find many of them, most of them, the majority of them in our annual catalog. So if you don't have an annual catalog and you don't have a demonstrator, let me know. I'll get you a catalog. This debuted in May of 2025 and will be current until April of 2026. But in addition to the product that you see in here, there is product, gorgeous product, beautiful product, that is only available online. So if you're only shopping from the annual catalog, you're kind of missing out. A good idea would be to go to stampinup.com and look at the online exclusives. There you can see current kits, as well as you can subscribe to the paper pumpkin. So I just wanted to share that with you because I would like you to have a full view of everything that we have so that it can broaden your paper crafting life. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to move this over a little bit and let's take a look at what we're talking about, what I want to talk about today. So we are currently, and this is a good thing, a very good thing, we are currently having what we're calling our sweet sale. And so what that is that if you purchase a sweet, any two sweets, you buy one for the purchase price and then you get one half off. And that is a great deal because sometimes our sweets can be like in the $100 mark. Sometimes they're like $80 or and so if you got even half of 80 off, that is so worth it. I will tell you, it is much cheaper to buy the sweet than to buy all the products individually. So take a look. You just have till the end of June to take advantage of that sale. If you buy any product that is part of a suite, then you will get half off of that as well when you buy more than one product. So let's talk about what is in the suite that I'm using today. And I'm using the Impressions suite. It comes with, if you buy the whole suite, it comes with this beautiful stamp set. This is like a two stamp set, and so each image has two parts of it, and then you have some beautiful sentiments, and it also comes with the dies. Now I store my dies inside my stamp case so that they're all together, and that way I always, when I'm stamping, I always have the die that goes with that stamp, and then also, whatever goes with the stamp set is there for me. I do keep them on this magnetic sheet, which I do get through Amazon. There are quite a few places you can get them. You can even get them at Lowe's or Home Depot. They come in, I think they're over by the heater vent stuff, and they come in a bigger sheet which you can cut them down. but this is the particular ones I get because they also come with an envelope. So when I have standalone dies, excuse me, when I have standalone dies, I can put this magnetic sheet in that envelope and I store it with my standalone dies. So you get stamp sets and dies, which is commonly called a bundle. That comes in the suite. You get these beautiful, this is strawberry slush, and then there's some other, there's pretty in pink, and then some more. Let's see what colors are in here. Does it tell me? It's pretty in pink and strawberry slush. So these are the gems, and they come in the suite, and they are beautiful. There's like the bigger ones and then smaller and medium. So you have a couple of sizes that you can use. Also in the suite is our beautiful pressed flowers embossing folder. And you know, I love the embossing folders. I actually haven't used them in a couple of weeks, but I really do love them. So these are pressed flowers, and we're going to, I'm going to show you this a little bit later, but this is not a 3D folder, but it definitely will bring added beauty to your cards or projects. So that comes in the suite. And then also there is the beautiful designer series paper. Now what's beautiful about the designer series paper, I guess I have this one upside down. What's beautiful about the designer series paper is the colors that are in this set of designer series paper always coordinate with the color of ink that goes into making the designer series paper. So today we're actually going to be working with strawberry slush, but you have the colors are always on that hardback or the, oh, here it is, on the tag board that comes with the designer series paper. And so it does tell me right here that I could use crushed curry, darling duckling, fresh freesia, garden green, misty moonlight, old olive, peach pie, pecan pie, pool party, pretty in pink, or strawberry slush as far as ink colors, and they would work well with the designer series paper. Now you can buy this designer series paper separately if you want, if you only wanted the designer series paper, but I think if you take advantage of the buy one get one half off sweet sale, I think that you would be saving in the long run. But I'm going to show you this designer series paper. So I've used the second sheet of this. So here's the front, here's the back. So you can see that maybe if you didn't want to use this floral print, you always have an option of the back, in the back. And this is beautiful. Or you could combine the back with the front, depending on what you're creating, and that would, you'd be happy with that. Here's another sheet. I've used the second sheet pretty much. So I love the ferns and the sunflowers, gorgeous. I also like that there's a line. So if you're scrapbooking and you cut along this line, you could actually create a 2-page spread with a design, right? Or you could meet the design right here because it goes straight in a line. So, and here's the back. And then this is really a lot of fresh freesia and strawberry slush. And here's the back side. And I just love this. These actually really go together. So if you're creating a card or maybe on your scrapbook page, this is the background, and then you put your white over it. Beautiful combination, just beautiful. I'm tending to really like that strawberry slush. It's not a pink, it's not a red, it's kind of a pinkish purplish. I don't know, I'm just liking it so much. And then of course, you know, this is going to be my favorite because I love sunflowers. So here is the front sheet, here is the back. So those even go together too. You can see how well they match and go together. Beautiful. And then here is, who would think that Misty Moonlight I mean, I guess I've seen them in pansies. I've had them in my garden before, but you usually don't think about those going together, but it looks great. And so these go together. This is the back side and the front side. And so that is the designer series paper that's available in the suite. And I'm just going to go over that one more time. So you have the dies in the stamp set. You have the designer series paper. You have the strawberry slush gems and the embossing folder. So what a great purchase that is. So now let's get into what we're going to do today. So I wanted to use these two-step images, and I did play with it quite a bit. First I tried the Misty Moonlight. It takes a little bit of practice with the two-step images, and that is only because I get a little hesitant sometimes. And also, if you first start out using the two-step images and it doesn't look quite right, this is the outline of the of this flower, and then this is like the filler stamp, right? So if you were to, because this is a lot of space, it's going to be covered in ink. So if you stamp this first generation, you stamp this off and then stamp it on, sometimes you're going to like that image a little bit better, I think. So let's take a look at the card that I did make, and then we're going to make a card together. So I made this card, and I actually used, crushed curry. And then I brought in some pumpkin pie at first, and that's when I'm telling you to do second generation. I just didn't get the full effect of the two-step stamp. So then I just did a first generation of this with the outline stamp, which is this one. And then the stamp that has more area, I did that with a second generation, and this is what I got. And then in the middle, I took that stamp and I used early espresso. Now, though early espresso is not listed in the coordinating colors, but for me, that's what works in a sunflower, right? And so this is the card I made, and I used the dies. We're going to look at that a little more, but I used the dies in the bundle, and here we go. That's the card. This is that beautiful embossing folder, which gives it so much texture. Now, you could do so much more with this. I just haven't yet. I'm thinking about it. You could put a bow on here. You could actually stamp this on a sentiment strip and then glue it on here. It really is up to you. You could actually cut these out, and because they really do give the vein look. You could stamp them. You could stamp a lighter version. Maybe this is Mossy Meadow. But you definitely could use Old Olive, and then maybe even some Garden Green, and so do the lighter one as the base of the leaf, and then the darker one with the veins. So definitely you can do that. What I'm showing you is what I did to kind of interest you in the set, but as inventive or creative as you are, that would be the limit. And then I did use, on this particular card, I used the neutral matte dots. I used the black one, so I know I don't really have any black in here because this is early espresso and this is also, but I just like the way that it looks on this card. All right, let's get started with what we're going to make today. So first of all, we're going to start out with a card base, obviously, and this card base measures 8.5 by 5.5, and then I have scored it in the middle at 4 1/4. So let's go ahead and fold our card base, and I'm using basic white. This happens to be the thick, but when you do add a lot of layers to your card base, you definitely can use just the basic white. So we're just going to go ahead and firm up that fold. with our bone folder. If you don't have a bone folder, you could use maybe the edge of a clear block, or you could use your thumb, but I just love my bone folder. And I did get a little bit of ink there. We're going to cover that up, so don't worry about it. And we're going to be using some dimensionals. I also used the embossing folder because I want this to be one of my layers. So I hope that you can see that texture right here. It's gorgeous. And you could even, like, once you have it embossed, you could lightly rub it with some green and those leaves would look out, or you know, or you could do your folder in different colors and that would just bring it to life even more. It's really up to you. We're going to go ahead and adhere this to a this is 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to go ahead and adhere it to this today. So let's do that. And when I have something that is embossed or has a lot of texture, I will usually use my multi-purpose glue to put it together, because this has a lot of ridges. And so I'll just lightly put some glue there, and then we're going to go ahead and adhere it to this panel here, layer here. And I'm trying, the glue will give you, if you use liquid glue, it gives you a little bit of time to manipulate your layers, what you're adhering. And then later we're going to glue it on here. Then I did take the dies, and I wanted to show you that. I've already done that, so we don't have to do it, but there's some stuff I need to do, or I want to do with you. I took this die, and you can see that it's a little different than this one. This one has no, it's just that line that cuts it, and I did use this, but I used this die that has texture to, I think you can see it on here, the texture. You can see it kind of gives that stitched feel. And so I did, it's very thin, so this is something we'll put on when we are ready to adhere to our card base. And then when you do that, you're going to have a, the insert is going to come out. So it cuts this as a frame, and then you get this. So if you're going to use this with this frame, then it'll fit perfectly. But I'm not going to use this as a frame. I'm going to use white. So anyway, this is cut with this die right here. And then I did cut a piece of white, basic white again. And it's this one. And so I cut that with this die. And this is just slightly bigger, so that when you lay it on your card base, it's going to fit better, right? Okay, so I've already done that, and I just wanted to show you those. Now I want to, just for a moment, I got that all out there and didn't want to show you yet. Just for a moment, we're going to take, now you can use that inside that you cut out with this, right? So I had some left over, so we're going to stamp on that. Now I'm going to show you how I stamped, but really we're not going to, I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap paper here so that we can stamp off. Let's see here. I thought I was all prepared. I think this will, hopefully this will be big enough. All right, so we're going to take our strawberry slush ink. And the very first thing is we're going to stamp that image, this one right here. And what I like to do is I need to be able to line them up. And this was another thing that it took me a moment to, like, I don't know, for it to sink in, I guess. But I'm going to use this longer petal here as my lining up point, right? And so when I find it on my stamp, it's right here. So I'm going to go ahead and tap this on here and then onto my paper, or cardstock I should say, and then you get that beautiful flower, right? And because this is going to be what you might see out like on the inside, the accent or the shadow or the defining part of the image, it's okay that it's a little bit pale out here. That's okay. Then I'm going to take that full image, which is this one. And now, before we move on, I wanted to say you have these two images that are two-step, these that are two-step, and these that are two-step, and they all have a die to cut them out. So they thought of everything. This is the inside, or the bulk, or the what takes more area. I'm going to stamp this off a little. Actually, I'm going to stamp it on this because I don't think I have enough space on that. And I'm going to stamp it off once, and then I'm going to take that longest petal and I'm going to line it up. Now I do have to bring this closer because we're talking about lining things up. And so you also want to line up the middle part with the middle part of your image, right? So let's see if I can do this, not being right on top of it. I'm shaking because I'm nervous. Okay, and then you have, see, it's a little off, but that's my fault because you can see I wasn't totally lined up. So you can do that, and you can see how it brings to life that image. Now I've already done these because, like I said, I need to be able to really see that they're lined up. So that is this beautiful color that I'm becoming so fond of, called Strawberry Slush. This is a new in color, and so this is something that you can get through the catalog, or you can get online as well. And if you don't have it, I think you would like it, so maybe you want to go ahead and get it. All right, let's get back to our card. Now I've already cut out those. I've cut them and stamped them. Let's go ahead and stamp that inside. Now that's a little stamp. They come in both sizes. This size for the little ones and this size for the big ones. And you can see that this stamp is like that. Like this stamp would be the first set, and then this is has more space, more area. I just used this, but you definitely can practice with them and see which one you like the best, or if you want to use them maybe in combination, I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and stamp the middle. Now you see that I stamped that. I actually stamped that in Memento, and it's because I wanted to. So obviously Memento is not listed as a coordinating color, but how can you go wrong with Memento, right? I want my flower to have that dark pit, or the top, I forgot what they call that part. You can certainly let me know in the comments if you know what that middle part of the flower is. But I'm going to go ahead and stamp it, and I'm going to bring this closer because I don't have another one of these that's fully stamped. And so I went ahead and stamped the middle there. And we're going to do one more thing, and that is we're going to stamp our sentiment right here in the middle, because this is going to lay on top of this and then on a card. So I want to kind of position these to where I'm going to put them, so I know where to stamp. I'm going to use my Memento again. You could use your Strawberry Slush or whatever color you want. And you could put this on a sentiment strip and then lay it on here if you wanted to. That will give you more dimension. I'm going to go ahead and put this beautiful sentiment, which is thanks, on here. And looks like I might need to put some refill on my Memento there. Okay, so there we go. Now let's go ahead and put our card together. I did want to show you some other parts that I've already die cut. So I usually like to die cut all of my stuff. So what I did was I stamped these first, and then I could do all my die cutting together. And then here are some leaves that I die cut too. So these are stems and leaves, and they're all part of the die cut. So here's the stem that I used, and here are the leaves. They are just a tad bit different. You can see that this one has a little more curve on one side, but you also have the option of these leaves too. So, and then you have the outline and the little part as well. So these don't cut, but you could do like a lighter green and then this in a darker, and then just put them on top of each other. So that's definitely an option. So you have a lot of options. So let's go ahead and put these all together on our card. So here's our card. We know we want to adhere this onto the card base, so let's go ahead and do that. And I am going to use, well, I'll just use my glue because it's out. You could use your Stampin' Seal at this point. That is my adhesive of preference, but it's definitely up to you. And just remember, dot dot, you don't need a lot. I can tell you from experience that you will not be happy if you use a lot, because and I'm not pushing hard. You won't be happy if you use a lot of glue, because it just gets sticky and nasty when it oozes out. All right, so there we go. And the reason I turned it over is because I didn't want to crush all that beautiful embossing that we've done. And now I'm going to go ahead and adhere this on so that I could adhere this on, because this kind of will fit just like on the edge here, and it needs to grab onto something. So let's go ahead and put this where we want it. So I did want to just tell you that those sweets, it's any of the sweets that you want to purchase are on the buy one get one half off. So I just wanted you to know that. But it's great to have everything. I know a lot of times I have like thought, oh, I don't need that. Oh, I don't need that. And now I've been doing a lot of scrapbooking, and I'm like kind of mad at myself. There's some, even though it might have been retired, or it might be retired now, there are some of the Designers Series paper from previous catalogs that I certainly wish I had, or you know, maybe some that I wish I had. So I think I've learned the hard way that when these kinds of things like sweet sales come up, even though, you know, it is a purchase, but in the long run, it's a better deal. So anyway, so I went ahead and put that frame on there, and I did just use my Tombow glue. If you have those precision bottles and you want to use them, then that's fine. It's just that, I don't know, sometimes for me, having so many things to use can become difficult for me. But that's just me. So now we're going to put dimensionals on the back here of our flowers. And I'm just putting one on each, because I'm going to want to position these so that I know where I want my stems. And I don't want to cover up a lot of this beautiful embossing, so I'm putting them right up here. And then I'm going to take these this stem, and then I'll know where to put it. And again, I'm just doing dot dot. You don't need a lot, and actually you don't need very much of this glue on here. A good idea maybe would be to use your craft mat, your silicone mat, and then you can, with a brush, with a sponge, you can sponge this so that you just don't get a lot of glue all over. Okay, I think I did okay. So let's go ahead and we're going to put this one. This is how I want them. So I'm going to put this one here. Now I don't want to cover up that sentiment. And stems don't have to be perfectly straight. At least in my garden, they bend and curve and wrap around each other sometimes. So here we go again. I'm just a tad. That's too much, so I can kind of use it down here. You could also use those adhesive sheets if you want. Okay, and so I'm going to put this right here. And then I am going to cut it because I don't want my, these can come off now for a minute. I don't want this going beyond that slush frame here. So I'll just cut it off. I'll cut this one off too. And so now we can put our flowers on. Oh, this is tiny. Picking it up is a chore, isn't it? All right, so sometimes if some of your leaves are not exactly perfect, you can always put those underneath, right? So we'll put that on there, and maybe this like this. And then we have these gorgeous leaves that we can just adhere on. You could use your glue dots if you wanted to. I'm just going to use a little bit of adhesive of glue, and I'm going to put that right there. And there isn't any rhyme or reason of where I'm putting these, so I just kind of wherever they land, that's where they're going to be. I don't think Mother Nature has a certain pattern necessarily in most of the, mostly in my garden. It's just, it's gorgeous and it is what it is. So, so there's our card. Now we do want to decorate it with some gems, right? So let's do that. Let me just kind of clean up here and get some of this out of the way. And I did want to share with you that when I get my gems, they come in a package like this. So this plastic is not, it's a little better, sturdier than maybe saran wrap or something. But I like to store my gems in these Avery passport pockets. And actually, I got this idea from Patty Bennett. So, you know, I don't know who originally came up with this idea, but it's absolutely great. So let me just go ahead and get some gems. I have, probably need to get some of the, I think I have a little glue on my thumb here. All right, so I like to put my gems in in increments of odd numbers, so however that might be. And then I'm just never quite sure where I'm going to put them. So it's just a matter of kind of being on the fly, I guess. So, and I also, these are some pretty in pink, and they have like a little a spot in them. I don't, wow, I do have glue on my, ink on my fingers. I don't know what, it's kind of like it reflects the light and it makes it, you feel like there's a little spot in there, but I don't think there is. Anyway, I'm going to just put that there, and I think I'm going to put 5 because I feel like I want something down here to draw your eye to that beautiful embossing folder. And so maybe I'm going to take a larger one. And so we have your eye going from here to here to here. So that's good, but it's 4. So I'm going to do one more. And I'm going to put this right here. Again, there was no real rhyme or reason. It's just kind of what I wanted. And then I will go ahead and put my gems. Let's see if I need to, maybe I'll cut this a little bit so it doesn't sit too tight on the pad here, on the envelope. Well, I just had it. I'm sure you saw me, right? Here we go. So these come in a packet and they do get a little bit pressed, but I've never really had a hard time I don't know why I am now. I never had a hard time putting them in, really, but maybe because I'm on camera. Okay, so we'll just put that in. Then I'll take my label maker and I will label them, and I usually will put, just like I did on this one, I'll put the name of the dots and then the item number. So when I get low and I'm placing an order, then I know what the order number is. And I did not stamp inside. You definitely can stamp inside. And I think on this card, definitely a little bit of twine would look pretty on it. So it's definitely, let me just see, I might have some really handy, because we also have, I do, let me just grab it. So, we also have this twine. It comes in a 3-pack. And we'll just make a bow and put our bow on here. So, I always cut more twine than I need. Now, no judging here. If you can make bows and you can tie that bow and you don't ever waste any twine, maybe I could learn from you. I mean that sincerely. It's just that I always do use too much twine. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to put that right here, actually. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut some of these because I know that's too long. All right, and then I'll take my glue dots. And what I like about the glue dots is that I can actually just take my finger and pull one off, and then I kind of roll it in a little ball, and then well, I thought I had it. Oh, here it is. And then I'll put it right on the back of my bow, right like that. And let's see, I don't want it to get in the way of the thanks. And then I'll just press it on here. And then you can zhuzh it up any way you want. But there you go. That's what a bow would add to that. Now, I hope that you really did like today's video. I hope that this gives you a little more awareness of the item that is in that sweets sale. And I can just see all kinds of things that I'm going to be doing with this because it's all purpose. So having the stamps, the dies, the designer series paper. I didn't check to see if you could take the dies to, well, I guess we could kind of check. Let's just check with this one. I'm kind of thinking maybe not, but maybe so. So you could get, well, you could. You got to find that. So you could get somewhat of a cut with this. So there's all kinds of possibilities with this suite. And I hope that you'll be able to take advantage of the suite sale. And so thank you so much for joining me today. Please consider following me here on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, please consider subscribing. And if there's anything I can help you with, just let me know. And thank you for joining me. Have a great day. Bye now.